the reason it's so popular is because if you took 100 guitar players from all walks of life, all styles, and put them in a room, 80 or 85% of them would find something about the custom reverb signature that they liked. I think it's got a really broad appeal. It's our basic platform. It's started with our original amplifier, which was 2 channels, channel switching, had reverb. That's what became the custom reverb. Of course, first it became, the Emerald 50, and then it sort of melded into the Emerald Pro. And the custom reverb just became a more refined version of that. At the time that we did the first custom reverbs, we were beginning to get our own components made for us, made to our specifications. By the time we got to the version 1 of the custom reverb signature, we had our own capacitors made for us to our specs, resistors, transformers. So the whole thing was just, let's just take this basic circuit, basic layout, and basic feature set and refine it as far as possible. And while doing all this, we began to understand that when you start to get everything in its right place and everything works together, it's like a really great recipe with really great ingredients. All of a sudden, hey, you plug any guitar into this thing, it sounds amazing. You play any style of music into this thing, it sounds really great. Virtually anybody, if their first introduction to a 2-Rock is the custom reverb or custom reverb signature, they're just like, wow, now I get it. Well, the Signature Series was the natural progression of the amp at the point where we began to get all of our components made specifically to our specifications. Transformers, capacitors, resistors. We were picking and choosing manufacturers that would work with us and give us exactly what we wanted. We discovered, and it wasn't really rocket science, but we discovered that the closer you keep your tolerances and the better you match your components to work together, the better amplifier you're going to develop. So in the early days, we were using stuff off the shelf, whatever was available, Mojo, Fender replacement transformers, things like that, surplus parts. But as we progressed, obviously, we wanted to, really move it in a direction and do something unique by having our own specs. So that's what we did. Now with the Signature amps, originally we were taking piles of capacitors and testing each one's value and other parameters, and probably, setting aside 30% of those to use in non-signature amps that were within tolerances to be in an amplifier, but weren't at the right tolerance to be in a signature amp. So we spent a lot of extra time on those, picking and choosing, and then building those amplifiers with a set, very specific set of tolerances and parameters.